There you go. Now you can bring it past here. See where the tires hit here. Try it, it may climb it. Oh, you got it. Nice. Thanks for joining us for another one of our 10-minute OHV area reviews. Today we're talking about Drummond Island, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Great place to visit. We had a quick visit. We had less than a day to enjoy the trails and try to hit the Jeep Badge of Honor Trail at Marblehead. Once you've driven all the way east to Detour, Michigan, you have to take the ferry across to Drummond Island. The ferry's $16 for the round trip. Runs a whole bunch of times during the day, even a few late trips at night. Once we got off the ferry, we made a beeline for the center of the island, following Channel Road to Town Line Road, where there was a visitor center. We got our maps there, we paid for our permits. There's an ice cream shop next door, a restaurant across the road, a grocery store, and a hardware store. I don't know what else there is on the island since we were there for such a short amount of time, so if anybody has experience on the island that knows about part stores or whatever, just put some comments down. We then immediately headed east to try to get to this Marblehead Badge of Honor Trail as fast as we could. So here's a little fun fact about the maps on Drummond Island. You have the ones mounted on posts out on the trails, and you got this paper one. And the paper one and the ones on the post don't look the same. So you have to kind of combine them both while you're on the trail. Don't lose your paper one, and use the ones on posts as a guide too. You'll eventually get where you're going. The place isn't that big. Also today we had the great pleasure of taking our friends Michelle, who's riding with my wife in this picture, and my friend Dustin on the trails with us. They had met us in Michigan for the Schoolie UP campout and toured with us over to Drummond Island to take a ride on these trails. Here you see a good example of what a lot of the trails are like. Rocks, mud, not particularly slippery. I suppose in ice it would be pretty bad. You do have to watch out for the big mud holes because you don't know what's at the bottom. So here's me tiptoeing gently into one. Those are 32s on my Jeep, and the one is pretty much under the water. So do your due diligence when you're approaching these big watery mud holes, and don't sink and hydraulic your Jeep. It just makes for a bad day. You know, when in doubt, make someone wade. These trails, we've been through these and kind of knew what we were expecting on the bottom. It's mostly hard mud, nothing slippery in this area, so traction was never a problem. Further down the trails we went, we did find some greasy, gooey mud that was rutted. It was relatively hard packed, but you could get stuck on this without even digging a hole. Here we're navigating back and forth across the lines because our Jeeps are both relatively low and we didn't want to get high centered. So some careful driving and judicious use of the accelerator pedal when necessary to kind of bebop across these lines. Be careful of the trees though. Without sliding around, they can reach out and bite you. Remember what I said about that greasy, rutted mud? Well, we encountered a group of side-by-sides on the trail that were having a tough time winching their own out. Just too slick for them to hold on to each other. This gave me an opportunity to use my heavier Jeep to pull them out of the ruts. Whenever you encounter someone on the trail, try to make sure you take a moment to help them out. Trail karma, it's a real thing. Later we caught up with our side-by-side friends at Shale Beach and got to talk a little bit about the trails ahead. They had been there before, so it was comforting to know kind of what to expect was similar to what we had already experienced. Once again, we're trundling through hub-deep water, being mindful of our air intakes, and making sure we're going slow enough that we can back up if it suddenly gets too deep. after some more scenic riding along the coast, we wound up at the steps. The steps are the real obstacle in this Marblehead Loop Trail. That's the badge of honor spot. That's the only real hard spot there is in the trail. Going down, you've got some steps. Michelle crawling down with her Jeep. Down's always easy, right? Gravity's got your back. Getting back up, don't go there by yourself, because if you do break something playing around trying to get back up, it will be a long, long walk and long night alone in the Michigan wilderness.
A little bit my way. Okay, bring my way more. There you go.
So how long a day would you have if you did break out there? Well, there's 40 miles of Jeep trails in the Drummond Island ORV area. There's about 60 miles of ATV trails there. So you're a good way out. There is another off-road park on the island, a privately owned one called Turtle Ridge. We did not get to go explore that. From their website and their pictures, it looks like that's probably the place to go for high challenge areas on the island. Out here on the Drummond Island ORV area, this steps was probably the highest challenge thing we saw besides the mud and water. You could dive into some of those mud holes, I'm sure, and get yourself in trouble, but if you're just trail riding with the family, a stock Jeep should be good on most of these trails. Your side-by-sides and your four-wheelers, you'll have a great time. Pack a lunch and enjoy the beautiful Michigan nature. And when you get to the coast of the island, you're looking over at Canada, so that's kind of cool too. Once we both got down to the bottom of the steps, we hung out at the point for a little bit, scenic overlook, met a couple more Jeepers with some nicely built TJs. One of them, a yellow four-cylinder, had a broken starter, so he was working hard and doing a great job at keeping it running while running these obstacles. Impressive to see skills like that when it's got to happen, because trying to roll start it in reverse down an obstacle, that's tough. Here's my wife climbing up. She's got a 6-inch long arm rough country kit and 33-inch IROC non-directional tires. We are both getting used to driving without lockers, without any kind of traction control. Her JKU, pretty much from the factory, would have walked up this with the 3-inch lift and 35-inch tires she had with that traction control. It was a beautiful thing. Here we're still feeling out how to work without lockers. What kind of momentum we need, what kind of lines we need. So we did a good job though. Neither one of us had the winch climbing these steps, and we didn't take the easiest way out either. So good for us. We had a good time.
Yeah, just bring it past here and back up. All right, now driver forward. There you go. Keep going, driver. All right, go ahead. There you go. Now you can bring it past here. Let's see where the tires hit here. Try it. It may climb it. Oh, you got it. Nice. Good job.
This is one of the two TJs we met on the trail. This guy, I don't remember his name, just being an excellent example of using just enough momentum to get the job done. Both these ledges he runs into are spaced just perfect to kind of stall a Jeep. They hit right on the wheelbase. So he backs up a couple times and uses a judicious application of the accelerator pedal to bump up this. He probably took the hardest line on this. So kudos to him for making it look easy. Our new friends with the TJs gave us some advice on the quickest route out. So we started heading down the trail just as that icy cold Michigan rain hit. And here I am in my red Jeep with no doors and a top that once in a while decides to drop some of that icy cold water right in my lap. It was not a pleasant drive out. We made it as fast as we could. In the end, we wound up on some straight gravel roads where we could pick up some speed, and we actually scared up some wildlife. You'll see in the video up ahead there's a a couple deer on the side of the road. So watch your speed. Last thing you want is a deer on your bumper. It would not be a pleasant way to end the day. But once we got back out to the ferry, we loaded up, crossed back over off the island, had some good sandwiches at a local bar and detour, and got ready to head back out on the road. So, to put it in a nutshell, I think Drummond Island ORV area is a great place to take the family. If you're already on vacation in the area, take the Jeep or whatever four-wheel drive you have and enjoy the trails. Do be careful. You don't want to be stuck out there in that mud. And for the higher challenge area, from what I've understood, Turtle Ridge is kind of the high challenge area for the island. I believe it costs you $30 a day per vehicle to go out there, or you can buy some annual passes. It just seems like the place to go in the area. When we met people on the road near there, all fingers pointed toward Drummond Island for some good off-roading in Michigan. Where else in Michigan is there a good place to go? If you have some hot tips, leave us some comments. We've only got to visit the Silver Lake Sand Dunes and Drummond Island in Michigan, and then we had to take off back east again. So hopefully we can get back to Michigan again soon. Beautiful state, beautiful countryside. Got to get back there. If you've never been to Upper Peninsula, Michigan, put it on your list. Got to go.